What is up, Internet? It is week 20, new season, technically, of these weekly update videos. The whiteboards are different. I'm going to try and do different stuff with the whiteboards now, so stick around for the video because you're not going to want to miss it. So, what's different about the whiteboards? Well, they're not split up into body, mind, and spirit anymore. We'll get there in the video. But instead, they're split up into what, why, and how. Meaning, what is my goal? Why is that my goal? And how am I going to achieve that goal? So, for what is my goal, it's to win a Grammy in 2025. But not because a Grammy really means anything to me. My goal is to change the world. That's really the goal, is to use the music that I make to change the world. It's all coming back now. I wrote these down, I think, last Wednesday, so now it's all coming together as to what all of this actually means. But my goal is to use my passions to help the greater good, if that means anything. Greater good is vague, but my passion is music, so I want to use my music to change the world and help the greater good. Specifically, the problems that I want to try and help are the mental health crisis, because mental health is just atrocious all over the world. What I'm calling the effort crisis, which is the... what's the word I'm looking for? It's the lack of effort put into things. Like everybody is just very passive in how they do everything, and there's no real effort put into anything. Partially because of the technology we have. We no longer use technology as a tool, but rather technology uses us. So there's no need for us to put effort into anything because we get instant gratification all the time, which makes the mental health crisis even worse. So they kind of go hand in hand. And all of that, technology not being used as a tool, but technology using us, is what's inevitably creating this reality dysmorphia. So, social media, for example, is not real. Social media is not a real place. It's not real. The world is real. You watching this on whatever device you're watching it on, look around you. Like, that's the real world. This right here is not real. I'm a real person, but this is not real. There's a disconnect there because people look on Instagram and see people with fancy cars and fancy hotel rooms and all of this luxury they don't actually have because it's not real, because it's social media. That's reality dysmorphia, which makes the mental health crisis worse, which makes the effort crisis worse, because people don't get that instant gratification from putting in the littlest bit of effort, and then they get depressed, and they're wondering why their life isn't as good as the person they see on social media. It's backwards. It's all backwards. None of this is real. I'm a real guy, but this right here isn't real. This is social media. Welcome to social media. That's what this is. So that's what my goal is to use my passions to change the world. Those are the problems I'm trying to change. Reality dysmorphia. So the last point is, all of that sums up into, I want to help people live their best life, not just the life they've been given. So no matter what circumstances you're born under, you can make your life better. Is it going to be the best ever in existence of all humankind? Probably not. But can it be better than if you just, live through this reality dysmorphia? Probably. So that's my goal, is to help people live better lives. Moving on. Okay, so why that goal? Why do I want to make the world a better place? Why do I want to change the world? Well, because the world we live in sucks. It's a shitty world. It's not set up in the best way it could be. It's not set up for everybody to actually succeed the way they want to. And part of that comes from technology. We talked about technology using us and us no longer using technology. Technology is a tool, the thing that makes us human and the thing that helped us evolve. The difference between the Homo sapien evolving into us now being able to look through a screen at this person who, exists, but you've never met personally unless you have. Shout out to you if you actually know me. But we've evolved. And how did we get there? It was by using tools. And technology is no longer a tool for us. We use it as a dependency. We're dependent on it rather than thriving on it. So dopamine, I talked about dopamine a couple weeks ago, I think. It was a lot of weeks ago. But dopamine, I think, is the key factor to living your best life. Controlling your dopamine release, monitoring your dopamine release. So what is dopamine? Dopamine is the neuromodulator that controls reward centers of your brain. I'm no neuroscientist, so if someone watching this is a neuroscientist and has a better explanation, please comment below, because I'm just reciting what basic information a college dropout has about neurobiology. So anyway, dopamine is important, controlling your dopamine. How do we release dopamine? Well, we talked about the effort crisis, and part of that effort crisis and why technology plays a big part in that. Technology we have, especially social media, is designed to activate your dopamine receptors. When you scroll through TikTok, for example, for anyone watching this on TikTok, I'm talking to you. When you scroll through TikTok, it's trying to catch your attention instantly. That's dopamine. By rewarding you in some ways, by, grabbing your attention. Anytime your attention is grabbed, that's dopamine being released. Dopamine is released when you focus on something. So TikTok, for example, you're focusing on a lot of useless stuff all the time because it's just grabbing your attention. That's an example of how technology is getting stronger as we're getting weaker. And by that, I mean especially with AI, technology is getting much, much better at grabbing our attention, grabbing our dopamine, and just getting a chokehold on it, as our dopamine is now getting weaker and easier to be manipulated. So, what was I talking about? Why that goal? Okay, so why that goal? Why do I want to make the world a better place? Because the world sucks. If you can, at the very least, be aware of when your attention is being taken away from you, you're on the path to start not just living a better life attention-wise, but where does that attention go? It goes into your effort into doing something, which is this right here. You can do anything you want as long as you do it. Like, you can do anything. You just have to do it. And how do you do that? You put in the effort. How do you get the effort? Dopamine. So if your dopamine receptors are constantly firing from social media, you're not going to be able to put any real effort into anything because you're not going to get that instant gratification. So that is why I want to change the world, because the world sucks. Let's move on to how. Okay, and here we go. How am I going to reach this goal? Well, now we're back to the body, the mind, and the spirit. So the last 20 weeks was all just figuring out how that works. so that I can align my body, my mind, and my spirit towards my goal. So what does that look like? So I'm going to talk about them in reverse order, and the reason I want to talk about them in reverse order, meaning spirit, mind, body, is because the spirit is the most, it's the least understood part of all of this. It's the least understood part of this triangle. So it's going to be the most vague. And then you get more specific as you go down. So that's why I'm starting with the spirit. The goal of the spirit is to enjoy life more. Live the best life I can. And the way to do that is to just have freedom to do anything I want. Whether it's freeing up my time, whether it's freeing up my finances, like whatever. Just having freedom to do cool stuff. That's what would let me enjoy life. Is just wake up one day and decide today I want to go to Disneyland, and then just go to Disneyland because I don't have a manager I have to report to, I don't have a job I have to clock into, I'm not worried about the bills, like just being able to do whatever I want. That is enjoying life. That is freedom. How my mind helps me get there, this is where the cool stuff starts. A lot of people say, I'm talking about my mind, a lot of people say that time equals money. Time does not inherently equal money, but time equals more opportunity to make money. So whether that's a passive income, you're now separating time and money because your time is no longer dependent on the money. But above all else, having more time means having more opportunity. So how do you get more time? Well, the first way you get more time is you organize your day. You have an alarm clock that you wake up to. One of the things I'm thinking about in rough draft stages of developing is just sort of a general life curriculum of this kind of stuff, but more formalized and more ranked, so you can progressively improve your life rather than just watching a YouTube video of like 10 ways to fix your life. You try and do all 10 things and fail immediately because doing 10 things is hard. It's a hard thing to do 10 things consistently. So I'm developing this sort of life curriculum where you don't have to do everything at once. So when it comes to time, how do you get more time? You wake up earlier. You set an alarm clock. You, at the very least, decide when you're going to wake up. That's your first point of decision for the day, is deciding to wake up. And then from there, decide when you go to bed. I'm not saying deprive yourself of sleep, because there's a balance point in all of this. But, at the very least, decide how long your day is. Because if you don't even know how long your day is, you are not in control of how much time you have to spend on your day. So that's step one. It's decide when you're waking up. Decide when you're going to bed. So then, in terms of life for my mind, how can I align my mind to my spirit to do more fun things, enjoy more moments, be in charge of things more? I'm working on developing what do I call it? I'm talking about synergy. Mm-hmm. What do I call it? It's an understanding of synergy, and synergy is the combination of two things to make a greater energy, an energy greater than either thing separate. So, for example, the samurai would believe that their sword synergized with them, and so the energy of themselves and the energy of their sword synergized and made a greater energy than either one of them separate. That same principle can be applied to anything. So for me, it's music. I am synergized with music. That's why I can just pick up drumsticks and play drums. I can just pick up a guitar and play guitar. I can just sit at a piano and play piano, because the instrument is not a thing to me. because the music is the thing. The instrument is just a way to reach that thing, a way to express that thing. So the synergy is with the music, not the instrument. And, you know, I don't know where that thought was going. But that's why it's kind of in the works. But synergy, that's what that's about. Body, we know a lot about. Same kind of thing. We're going to the gym. We are getting really good sleep now that I don't work at night. Nutrition. Nutrition is the thing I gotta keep up with. Not because I'm just eating a lot of crap all the time, but because I get so caught up in doing things that I forget to eat. And so I'll get to the end of the day and be like, well, we haven't had anything aside from a cup of coffee this morning and water throughout the day. Let's maybe have a real meal. And so I'm trying to do a better job at like actually getting proper nutrition, not forgetting to eat. But yeah, that's what's going on with my body, my mind, and my spirit. Clearly things are going well because I'm thinking a lot and I like thinking. So I'm going to try and make these videos different every week. I'm going to try and erase the whiteboards. Erase the whiteboards. Erase the whiteboards. I'm going to try and erase the whiteboards every week and do something different. This week was my what, why, and how. I don't know what next week is going to be because it's not here yet. But stick around. Thanks for tuning in.